The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. First carry now for the rookie from SC. It's Ronald Jones. He'll be dropped at the 30. A shifty move got him a couple extra on the play. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. On second down, it's Jones. Fancy footwork in midfield. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. It's the first NFL touchdown of the young career of Ronald Jones. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. And that moment we just saw, always so special for any rookie, the first touchdown of his career.
And there's nothing like anticipation, is there? You know he's been dreaming about it, thinking about it. It's been a part of every bit of his being. And finally, it gets done. He's got to feel great right now.
Extra point good by Catanzaro. And that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Incomplete. Both players were there offensively and defensively, but it falls incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
With it is Jackson. Fights off the defender. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game, because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations? Sometimes you script to attack, and that's what I'm seeing so far.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Let's go.
Again, it's Jones. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. A gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. On play action, Winston. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Fletcher Cox in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
In his own end zone, it's Wentz. The reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. And he's able to get this up just shy of the 15. They were looking for a little spark and some breathing room. They got it right there, a gain of 14 and a first down. This is a delay. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
2 running plays go backwards. So what's the call on 3rd and 13 now? Working from the gun, Wentz. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this though. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
That good for 19 and a first down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. He'll be stopped short of the 25. The nice move couldn't free him. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
Now a second down throw for Winston. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Winston on 3rd and 2. And Brate, the tight end's got it. And down inside the 15 he goes. The Buccaneer first, Winston to Brate.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. And a first carry here for Charles Sims. And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. And they're driving, but they come up on a 3rd and short here.
Let's go, let's convert.
They come out here in the eye. On 3rd down. That's Barber. And not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Let's go, let's convert.
And they'll run it here. And he is going absolutely nowhere in the wrong direction. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And the Eagles defense able to hold. On first down, Wentz. It's complete. It's Sproles. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll bring up a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 23 yards on the play.
On the line. They're finishing too, great. Lefty.
Now it's Ajayi. No gain on the play there. Second down.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
On second down, here's Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Wentz going to try and throw on third. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's fourth down.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on third down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
Hey, a simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position where we were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence, not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And a great move on the play as he takes this one past the 25. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
To throw, Winston. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Sproles, the return. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
On the line.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The Eagles on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10.
Hey, empty.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. And a 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you got to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Let's go, let's convert.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout.
Let's convert.
Now Jameis on second down. And Watson has it right side. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. The Bucs on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now Winston. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard complete. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Let's go. It's time to play.
Now a play fake here on first down. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Brandon Graham in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. The give is to Jones. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
Let's go. It's time to play. Hey, sub. Let's go.
3rd and long for Winston. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills. Oh, nice move in midfield. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now. Showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. Now wins. And he's got his man on the out route. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Wentz now 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a first down. To throw is Wentz. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Levante David. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Following the interception, Winston. And Watson has the right side. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. A give to Jones. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Flush to his right. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Now a play fake. Wentz. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
The Eagles on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Shotgun now for Wentz. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to him.
Here's Jackson. Good coverage there. An even 50-yard punt leads to a return of 5. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Winston and the Bucs take over now 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Hey, ready. Blue lady.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
4 down. Ready. Blue lady. Let's go.
Winston. Escaping the pressure right. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12.
Ready. Blue lady.
From the gun, Winston. He's going to let this one go deep. And a double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Jameis to throw it. Flushed out right, and he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Winston. Able to slither by. It's caught, Humphries. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down. So it looks like the offense isn't going anywhere. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7. Here's Winston. And, Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. That is now 7 interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet, make a little note. I hope he's writing self-scout. Bring in the guys that scout games for you with a different eye and watch him and see what's going on, and maybe they can pick up what the flaws are, and hopefully they can correct them.
And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. Wentz now just 6 of 15 through the air. Not good, but 1st and 10 here. They run with Ajayi. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And now running right through it. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Come on, let's go.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. Goes underneath for Sproles. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it's a 2nd down. On play action, it's Wentz. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 4. Yard line.
Ready. White 25.
On the counter, here's Jones. As he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in a mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. Winston bringing it in. Jackson left side. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. 7 yards there. Good enough to move the sticks.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And some room to maneuver. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now Jones. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up second and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score one touchdown,
you're
without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
They'll try to throw now. Winston. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. Mike Bennett able to drop him for a loss of a couple. Bennett, of course, a big offseason pickup for the Eagles.
And they love his versatility. He can play defensive end, defensive tackle in obvious pass situations, 9.5 sacks last season in Seattle, and the smallest shoulder pads for a man his size we've ever seen.
And a 3-time Pro Bowler to boot. Here's Jones. And a few little style points on the juke, but not much room to maneuver after that. Give him 4 yards there, but they're still well short of the goal line with 4th down now looming. Back now in Tampa. It's the Bucks. They've got the football. They also are in front here on the scoreboard as we start the 4th. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And Catanzaro's kick is right through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. A big one there. That gives them a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
The Eagles in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10. Wentz now on 1st down. Under pressure, they got him again. Mitch on Ryan. Continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11. Now they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Shorty.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Levante David. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Ready, blue ready.
They'll pitch it out to Jones. And some room to work. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Right back to him on 1st down. And shedding through the tackle. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Sometime in this 4th quarter, someone on defense is going to have to step up and force a turnover.
Ready, black 22. Here we go, T, get off the field. Watch my foul, man.
This is Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. The Bucs on third down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
Let's go.
Now Winston. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. O.J. Howard, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And that makes our score 17-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. Cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Now Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll make this a 2nd down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. 1st and 10 right at the 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. The offense on third down tonight, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Here's Ajayi. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Let's 5-3. Let's 5-3.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. And it's caught. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Darren Sproles, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Eagles make some inroads here on that deficit. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Elliott good on the extra point, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7. Elliott now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Hey, let's go, let's go.
They'll go again to Jones. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
And this is an absolutely big third down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big third down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. Off the play fake, Winston. And Winston lost the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. But there you go. You said someone was going to have to step up, force a turnover. That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, now they need to capitalize, get this back to a one-score game. From there, anything can happen.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And a short gain here down to the 22. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this.
Let's go. Run.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. Jeffrey with a catch left side. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Back to throw. Wentz eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Now Wentz got to have this one. And Jeffrey's got it. And he will have the 1st down before he's tackled at the 12. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're going to get him down, but not before a pretty good run right there. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Wentz to throw. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
So with just over a minute to play, this becomes a make-or-break onside kick. And the Buccaneers able to recover. Their hands team does its job. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
Let's go. Wait. Check.
Here's Jones. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game.
Hey. Ready. Blue waiting.
Jones. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game.
Ready.
On third down, here's Jones. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a pickup of 13, and with that 13 yards, this ball game just about over.
Ready. Blue waiting. Let's go.
Here's a give to Jones running left. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Now Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Hey, let's go. Green, triple C. Let's go.
Now Winston. He's got Evans. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. His first catch, and it's a big one in overtime. It's a 1st down. And you definitely could make the case we might not even be in overtime had he not thrown 3 interceptions in regulation. But looking better here so far in OT.
Yeah, and when you think about what a coach is thinking at that point, because normally you've thrown 3 picks during the game, you might craft your play calling to be a little more careful. Not in this case. The green light still on for him.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Bucs are winners here as we say so long from Tampa.